Let's get started. Okay. Thank you for being here. If you don't know me already, I'm Hodman. I was a data scientist for just over a decade. I run two publications here on Substack. One is the Data Letter, where I help senior managers, operations people, technical builders, data professionals, of course, use AI and data systems to reduce friction and run complex work more effectively. And I also run between thinking and doing, where I help high performers and teams that are facing execution friction get traction on their work through structured AI systems. And also this year, I founded my first company, which is Asora AI, and we build productivity tools for neurodivergent people. If you want to visit any of those websites, here are the addresses. So I got the idea to do this topic for a live over the past weekend while I was writing about Samsung's AI rollout and the metrics they're using to determine the success of AI across its workforce. So Samsung is giving all 260,000 employees across or access to ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and measuring success through a metric they call full-time equivalent, or FTE, which tracks how many people's workload a single employee can finish while using these tools. So if a marketing manager can finish the work of 3 marketing managers using Claude, then that marketing manager's FTE score, productivity score, is 3. I've definitely had a lot of people make comments on the article about like the ethics of FTE and whether Samsung employees would be motivated to be efficient with the tools, since it seems like this is a score that will be used to justify reducing headcount and laying people off. There's definitely merit in that conversation, and even Samsung employees have anonymously expressed concern about it as well. I'm not going to talk about that specifically today, but I did want to touch on giving people access to these tools alone and then telling them to go be efficient. How it's not enough. So the companies winning with AI right now, the companies my friends are working inside, are writing down how their teams make decisions, then rather than like handling that model and asking it to score every new case against the same criteria. So for today's session, I wanted to build that scoring system with you using a sales lead qualifier. I think qualifying sales leads is the cleanest example for this. But think of your own version while I build this. So this could be used for evaluating vendor proposals, or whether to decide to escalate a customer support inquiry. So anything your team evaluates the same way over and over. So for every sales team I've supported, sales managers would typically score every lead on 5 main things. So one would be the job title fit. So whether the person filling out the form has the authority to make that buying decision. 2 would be industry match. So whether the company they work for is in an industry we sell to. 3 is company size, whether the headcount fits our typical customer. And then 4 is intent signals in their message. So it would be phrases like evaluating tools or looking to buy or a specific timeline. 5, finally, is the tech stack overlap. So whether they use tools that we integrate with ours. So all of these scores would be added together for a total passable score of 100 points. And the tier thresholds are usually, like 75 or higher, it's a hot lead, warm is 50 to 75, and then cold is under 45. So I am a Claude user, so we're going to use that for today. Okay. I'm really getting into this voice to AI features, so we're going to use that. This typically be done in a Claude project. So instead of doing that, because it's only just one example, I won't do it in the project. Okay, so you are a lead qualification scoring assistant. For every lead I paste in, score it against 5 criteria. Job title fit, which means whether the person filling out the form has the authority to make A buying decision that counts for 30 points. Award 30 points for clear buying authority like VP, director, C-level, or head of. Award 15 points for manager level or influencer roles. Award 0 for individual contributors, students, or unclear titles. Second is industry match, whether the company they work for is in an industry we sell to. 30 points altogether. So award 30 points for a direct match, award 15 points for adjacent or related industries, award 0 for unrelated or unknown. Company size is the third criteria. So whether their headcount fits our typical customer, 30 points, award 20 points rather. Award 20 points if headcount fits the typical range. Award 10 points for one tier above or below. Award 0 for far outside the range or unknown. Intent signals in the message would be phrases like evaluating tools, looking to buy, or a specific timeline. That counts for 15 points. Award 15 points for explicit buying language or stated timeline or budget. Award 8 points for soft interest without urgency. Award 0 for no signal. And then tech stack overlap, whether these tools that integrate with ours, 10 points. Award full points for confirmed overlap. Award 5 points for an adjacent stack. Award 0 if no stack information is given. Total possible points is 100 points. Tier thresholds are 1 is hot, 75 or higher. 2 is warm. Oh, that kind of stopped. All right, well, you guys get the point. I'm just going to paste it. 1 second. So funny. Okay. Okay, so the first one, we're going to scores of VP of engineering at a 200-person logistics software company. Filled out the contact form. Their message says they are evaluating tools for Q1, need to make a decision by end of month, and currently use a competitor. So their tech stack also matches ours. We're just going to put that in. So that's a pretty hot lead. So given it 100 out of 100 score because of the title. The company is in an industry that we're in, and then the headcount as well, and then their intent signals as well, that they're evaluating tools for Q1 and need to make a decision by end of month, and then they're currently using a competitor, and they also said that their tech stack matches ours. So that's a hot lead, and the reasoning is pretty right here. So anyone on my team can see exactly how Claude got to those 100 points. So we're gonna go to our second lead here. So this is a manager at a 50-person company in an adjacent industry and they filled out the form. The message says they're curious about the product, but they did not give a timeline at all. And Claude here is working on it. All right. So this is it gave it a pretty cold lead, and that's because it's partially met the criteria. But the signals that did pay attention to was that it was a manager, which is more of an influencer role. I guess it depends on the size of the company, but it says this is a pretty small company. I can see why I gave it low points. And there's of course no specific timeline mentioned. Could be a tire kicker, but obviously still follow up with it. And then lastly, we got an inquiry from a student researching for a school project, and of course, I think you can all guess what it will give this. So this is not a qualified lead, so really up to the team to follow up with them or not. So let's say that. If we change the criteria, so let's say the sales team comes to me and they disagree with the industry match weight, and then they think it should be 35 points instead of 30. So just the industry match weight to 35 points instead of 30. Um, that updated it really quickly. So let's rerun the manager lead here. Okay, so it's still much colder lead now that we changed that. So it's the point is it's easy to change what the points are for. I did just to like step back from what we did. Like I did write down the 5 criteria. I gave Claude the point values, and now Claude is scoring every lead the same way that my sales team would, with reasoning that the sales team can understand because we set it up with that prompt. And I feel like this is what the part that Samsung's rollout doesn't really teach the individual contributors that are expected to be efficient with these tools. They're just going to like give out 260,000 employees access to these licenses, and then it's going to measure them on how efficient they can be. But access to that chat window doesn't really get them there. And the same would apply for your team as well. And right now I'm pasting the leads in by hand. That works, of course, but it's not where that the system is supposed to live long term. So if you have a Claude connector, set it up. If you have Claude, you can use connectors to set up for your CRM and set it up with your inbox as well. Tomorrow, I'm going to release a full build of how to kind of just like take it from the form on your website and into Slack or Gmail, wherever those leads go into, and then kind of just show like the full workflow of how Claude would work with HubSpot and your email provider and Slack as well. I don't think anyone else has questions here, but I'll send this video out afterwards. But it is very easy to kind of build these scoring systems, and for whatever decision you make on a regular basis, you can also apply this to that as well. But thanks for joining, everyone. I really appreciate it. And I'll release the full implementation tomorrow morning. Thanks, guys.